What's going on, my people? What is up, homies? It's all Jason and May here. Hope y'all are doing well. So this weekend, guys, Holm versus Bueno Silva will be taking place as the main event for UFC Fight Night. And man, I don't know how to feel about this card, dude. It's pretty iffy, isn't it? It's a pretty iffy card, dude. Probably one of the worst cards of the year. I'm not gonna lie, even of all time, but I'm gonna just say of the year. So at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna split this video into two. I'm gonna do the prelims just for this pick for now, and then I'm gonna make a different video. And yeah, I'm gonna make a different video. Do the main card picks. So we'll just do the prelims for now. So yeah, Ashley Evans Smith versus Eileen Perez. I would like to pick Ashley Evans Smith, but she hasn't fought in 3 years, and I don't know how that's gonna look. So I just for some reason see her snatching the W, but I'm gonna go with Eileen Perez here. I don't think she's that good, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but I have a feel. I just hope she can get the job done. That's really all I can say. I don't have much to say. I really could give two about that fight. Carl Deaton versus Alexander Munoz. Last time I saw Munoz fight, I thought he honestly beat Luis Pena in that split decision. But regardless, he's taken on Carl Deaton the third. I don't think this guy is all that, not gonna lie. His record's 17-6, but he's been fighting a bunch of nobodies, and I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Carl Deaton could snatch it out of the bag. You know, I know that he wants this win really badly, but Alexander Munoz is a really good wrestler, and I think he's gonna wear on Carl Deaton. I don't think he will submit Carl Deaton, but I think he will just have a very heavy wrestling game plan, and I think he's gonna wear on Carl Deaton and get a very dominant decision. So who knows? We'll see, eh? But I'm picking Alexander Munoz. Tyson Nam versus Azul Maxim at flyweight. Azat Maxim is a huge prospect coming out of Kazakhstan. He's 16-0, the number one flyweight out of Asia. This guy has he's been fighting solo competition to get that 16-0 record, and I don't see how this guy could lose to Tyson Nam. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Nam picks up like a KO win out of nowhere, but I'm gonna pick Azat Maxim. I think he's gonna get a very dominant decision. I don't see a finish here, but if anyone's getting finished, I think I definitely see Maxim getting a KO, but I'm gonna pick Maxim just to get a dominant decision, but I will not be surprised if Tyson Nam gets the job done. So moving on, Gennaro Valdez versus Evan Elder. So this is a very intriguing fight. This is one of the fights that I'm definitely looking forward to on the card. Gennaro Valdez is with all due respect, a straight up punching bag. You know, like he's lost his first two fights in the UFC, and he hasn't really shown that much skill the whole time. And I really want this guy to get a W, you know what I mean? But I just don't see it happening. I don't think he's all that. Obviously he was fighting down in Mexico, and there's a lot of great Mexican fighters, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's a lot of really trash Mexican fighters that you can build your resume upon before you get to the UFC, and I feel like Gennaro Valdez had a wake up call, when he fought Matt Favola in his debut and was kind of like, holy shit, this ain't Mexico. You know, I'm fighting the best in the world. And he's durable as hell, which is all I can say about Gennaro Valdez, but he doesn't have that much skill, if I'm going to be honest with you. Skill for skill in this fight, I'm easily going to go with Evan Elder. Evan Elder coming out of Killcliff FC, training with guys like Brendan Allen, Vicente Luque, Gilbert Burns, Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov. You know, like the whole UFC roster is basically at Killcliff FC if you think about it. So when you're training with fighters like that, you know, every single day, I feel like it can only make you so much better. And Evan Elder really impressed me in his last fight against Nazim Sadykhov, who we're going to get to later in this card. But yeah, you know, Evan Elder lost that fight against Nazim by doctor stoppage, I believe. But still, you know, I thought it was a very impressive performance by him. You know, he can fight really well off the back foot. He's good in both stances, and yeah, just technically, he really did impress me. And I think out of both of these guys, if someone's gonna shine in the future, I'm definitely gonna have to pick Evan Elder. So I'm gonna go with Evan Elder by a late stoppage in the second or third round, or a very dominant decision. I don't see Gennaro Valdez getting this one done. Moving on. Oh my god. Guys, can we just thank Jack Della Maddalena? The bro has just saved the whole card. Jack Della Maddalena has really just saved the whole card, and I'm so glad that he's on the prelims, you know, just so I'm able to watch him. I think it's a better idea having him on the prelims than the main card, but anyways, he's going to be taking on Basil Hafez. I don't really know who this guy is at all, obviously. I did check his resume, and he does have a draw against Jeremiah Wells, who's 12-1 or 12-2 in the UFC. I'm not too sure. But Jeremiah Wells is pretty solid, and to go to a draw with him back in the day, that's decent. But I just don't think that's enough against a storming, raging Jack Della Maddalena. We all know what happened with him. He was supposed to fight on the 290 card. He had two different opponents, and they both had to pull out. And he's just hungry, man. And I just can't see Basel getting it done. I just feel like Jack Della Maddalena is on the road to the throne. This guy could definitely be a top five welterweight in my honest opinion. I don't want to be hyping up my boy too much because I'm obviously Aussie, but I got a lot of hope for Jack Della Maddalena. So I'm gonna go with a late first round TKO. I think Basel Hafez is gonna do really good, but I just see as soon as Jack Della Maddalena closes the distance, he's just gonna storm Hafez like through the canvas and just destroy him, utterly destroy him. So you already know who I'm picking. Next fight, Austin Lingo versus Mel Quizeo Costa. I'm going with Costa, guys. This is a very obvious pick. I wouldn't say obvious, but I just can't doubt my man's Costa, man. You know what I mean? I feel like with Austin Lingo, he is good, but he's very one dimensional, and he's very slow for a featherweight. He's like a no homo, but he's like a thick featherweight, and he's just slow, dude. Like when I saw him fight Nate Landwehr, he's super slow and just didn't really impress me all that much. And his wins are against guys who are on the lower half of the featherweight divisions. Guys like Jacob Kilburn, Luis Saldana. You know what I mean? And Malquizeo Costa, although he lost his debut against Thiago Moises, I was very impressed with him. He made some low IQ decisions in that fight to obviously getting finished, but having to make your debut against Thiago Moises is a very tough call. It's a big ask, and I can see it being a coming out party for Costa. I think Costa could go out there and just absolutely staunch Austin Lingo. I could see him dropping Austin Lingo, then submitting him. But I also think that Austin Lingo is a fairly decent striker, so I don't see him getting dropped at all. But I think once this hits the mat, guys, it's going to be all Costa, without a doubt. And I'm going to pick 29-28 Malquizeo Costa to get it done by decision. If not, I see him getting a late finish. But it's an intriguing fight, guys, no doubt. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Malquizeo Costa. Moving on, Estela Nunez versus Victoria Dudikova. I'm just going to pick Dudikova. There's not much to say about this card. Like, there really isn't much. There's not that much to say about it, let's be honest. Estela Nunez, 6-4. She's got a couple bad losses on her record that I can't take serious. Victoria Dudikova, she looks like an absolute savage, and she's from Russia, and she's undefeated in all of her fights, so it's really just a no-brainer, guys, if you ask me. Oh, pardon me. Last fight on the prelims, guys. I am somewhat excited for this fight. Not really, but, it should be fun regardless. Tucker Lutz versus Melsik Bagdasarian. So, the first time that I saw Melsik fight was against Colin Anglin a couple years ago. He got a head kick TKO, and I just feel like, in all honesty, I feel like Melsik's very one-dimensional. I feel like he's a good one-dimensional fighter. I feel like he's a purely just a striker. He has somewhat of a ground game, but he was beating Josh Collibao, before he got submitted. But yeah, I feel like if it comes to the feet between these two guys, without a doubt, Melsik Bagdasarian will get it done. I think Tucker Lutz has a very gritty style, where he's not gonna charge forward and just rush into something and get hit by it. But what I'm trying to say is he tries to bring this pace, and he just tries to wrestle you and to wear you down basically. And I just don't see it happening. I want to pick Melsik Bagdasarian, but I have a bad feeling that Tucker Lutz could get this one done. But no, I'm gonna go with Melsik Bagdasarian. I think he could get a TKO here in the second round or even the third round, or just a very dominant decision by Melsik Bagdasarian. It's a sketchy fight to pick. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very sketchy fight to pick because I just have this bad feeling that Tucker Lutz is gonna just purely dominate the fight with grappling and give Melsik no chance. But in order to close the distance with the grappling, you got to be able to get past Melsik striking. And I think Melsik will end up head kicking him or just touching him on the chin. I think Melsik is a really good striker, and I think he's got a good future, man. As long as he can hold up with the ground game and improve his grappling, I think he's got a future. So I'm gonna pick Melsik Bagdasarian by a third round TKO or a 29-28 decision. But it's a very sketchy pick. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to put money on Tucker Lutz, but I hope you guys enjoyed the prelim picks. I'm going to move on and do the main picks. And yeah, see you guys then.